in. And for him to be able to answer that in the way that he did, this championship to me means more for the Bucks and for Giannis than it has for anyone in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe that's a bit of a stretch. The more to him than anyone in the last 10 years, maybe. I don't know that I'd go that far.
From a championship, from a star player resume perspective, I don't know.
I think that maybe like supplemental. I think supplemental players, it might also, this like championships might mean more to them than like the Giannis. But I think like on this level, if we're just talking star players, probably. I think that this elevates him more than it elevates anybody else. Like I already saw a post on Instagram, like comparing him to like Michael Jordan already, and that hasn't really happened to him in his career fully since like before this occurred. So I definitely think that it has meant a lot more to him than it would LeBron. Like I agree with that. Like I think that this is something that's a greater deal and it's going to impact his career further, but I'm going to push back a little bit, Nick, and say I wouldn't say it means the most out of everybody.
That's fair, but I think it does. I'll disagree with you. That's okay.
I actually had to side with you on this one, Nick. I genuinely like it does so much. It does so much for him. I mean, he 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and he's always left off top 10 lists of NBA players all the time. And this finally is a championship that like you just see it on his face. They won, just tears everywhere. There's a shot of him looking for his wife and his kid, and you just have this over sense of joy for him. And like I have to agree with you, Nick. I genuinely feel like it means more to Giannis than most as of late. Because LeBron, he was scouted since middle school. Like you knew it was coming, but Giannis, 12th overall pick, years and years of futility with the Bucks. Chris Middleton, you never know what he was going to do. And then now all of a sudden he's in that conversation again of top 5 players in the league, of top 10 players. And he rightly deserves it. He really does.
And Giannis is the third player in NBA history before age 26 or at age 26 to win an NBA Finals and also be a 2-time MVP. LeBron nor Michael Jordan were able to accomplish that feat. So he's in pretty elite company there. And I'm not comparing him yet because Giannis still has a long way to go. And I think we all know that. But it's just so impressive to see him do what he did. And especially for a guy that's just the range of the way that the playoffs could have gone for him, I think is what does it for me, because I don't think it's unreasonable for the Bucks to have thought about blowing it up had they had another early playoff exit this year. I think that they were teetering on that. Certainly a potential coaching change. And I don't know that if you are Milwaukee, that you're in a position to get rid of Giannis just because you're not going to attract that type of star. So you just can't get rid of that guy. But then you're thinking about Giannis really is a tier 2 guy. He's not on that level. And to see him rise to the occasion the way that he did was really impressive. And I think that to me, it resonates in a way that the best example for me is that if LeBron had stayed with Cleveland and been able to eventually push through and not gone to Miami and won, that's what I think Giannis just did. And I don't know if that makes it 5 times more impressive, 10 times more impressive. You can answer the multiplication for me, but I think it's more impressive. Now, is he a better player than LeBron? Of course not. He's got a long way to go. But he mentioned it in his post-game press conference, and he's 100% right. He went a route and had success in a way that almost nobody in the NBA has had. Everybody has jumped ship. Everybody is looking for the best free agent destination to put themselves in a position to win a championship, and people are not staying with the teams that drafted them. And for Giannis to break through in the way that he did is just that is special. And I think that to me elevates him even another notch as opposed to some of the other champions that we saw, because it is difficult to stay in Milwaukee and to finally find a way to win that championship. And he did that. He didn't run from the challenge. There are other guys who haven't run from the challenge. Damian Lillard to this point comes to mind, but he hasn't been able to get past the Western Conference Finals and getting swept there. That was the most success that he had. So Giannis to stick with it and have success, that's pretty darn impressive.
I agree. I mean, I definitely think that his loyalty to Milwaukee and his loyalty to that team and to building a foundation that can be there for years to come. I mean, it's 1000% something to be applauded. And it's obviously something that I think we said how much this means to Milwaukee. That makes it mean so much more, is the fact that they've gotten to watch him grow. They've gotten to see him develop as a player, as a person, as a man. Like, they really have worked together like this whole for years. And so I think that definitely is something that's special about him. It'll be interesting to see how his career, like the trajectory of his career continues, if this is a trait that he kind of keeps with and he tries to keep remaining loyal to team, or if as he kind of finds more success, he maybe can goes towards places where he will have that success. So I think that's kind of interesting, because he may start like this, but he's gotten that taste of NBA championship, and that might be something that he will follow anywhere to go and get. So I don't know. I'm not going to speak to his character about that or anything, but I think will be something to watch. Definitely.
It's going to be interesting to see where he goes. It's always funny to see how players who win their first championship, where they go. I think he's going to stay in Milwaukee for a long time. Like, the fact that he stayed there for 8 years and he won a championship, and it was all of his hard work finally paid off.
But is now the work done? Do you think he'll stay and he wants another, or is the work done in Milwaukee and he's going to go do some work somewhere else?
I think he's going to stay. Personally, I think because people doubted him for so long, if he's going to win a championship in Milwaukee, this is probably sweet. But can you imagine how he's going to feel if the Bucks win again? Maybe not next year, maybe not repeat, but 2 years from now, and it's pretty much the same core. He wins again. It will really do a lot for him.
I think there is something to be said for being able to be marketed in the way that he can be in Milwaukee and be that star and the guy that stuck with that small market team. And he seems to really love the area and connect with the fans in Milwaukee. I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay there for the rest of his career, just because of the bond that appears to be there with the Milwaukee fan base and Giannis Antetokounmpo, because it's really impressive and it appears genuine. It really felt real when you're watching him get interviewed, and the way that he was interacting with the fans after winning the championship. And then you got him in Milwaukee today trying to get the chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A for life. I mean, he's just living the life in Milwaukee, and I would be surprised to see him give that up. Now, of course,